What is up, everybody? It's Larry back with you, and today I'm going to be discussing the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 2 weeks later. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the hardware, the software, and my overall experience with the device in the past 2 weeks. So first of all, let's start with hardware. Build quality is excellent. I said that in the unboxing, and it still holds true today. 2 weeks later, I still love the way it feels in my hand, the aluminum around the sides, the chamfered edge. I mean, everything is just beautiful about it, and it feels fantastic when you hold it, to the point where I find that I hardly put cases on it anymore just because I love the way it feels. I am seeing a few little scratches on the chamfered edge. That's to be expected with the raw aluminum being shown like that and it being such a soft material. The back, even though it's plastic, still feels solid. Once it's on the device and the battery's in, it's very solid. It feels like a solid device. There is no flex, there is no squishiness, there is no softness to it. So that's, even though it's plastic, once it's installed and it's on, to me it's not an issue at all. I don't even think about it being plastic. And because it's plastic, you're able to have the removable battery and access to a micro SD card slot, which you could pump up to 128 gigs. So on top of the 32 gigs that is already built in the device, you can have another 128 on top of that for, you can move your apps over, your movies, photos. And then speaking of the battery, it's a fast charge battery. So you have the special charger that comes with it, and it will actually charge super fast. It's amazing how quick it charges. They also got rid of the USB 3.0 that they had on the Galaxy Note from last year, and they went with the USB 2.0, which is no problem whatsoever. The 3.0 was supposed to give you faster charging, but to me it seems like it's a lot faster with this 2.0 and the fast charge implementation. So I think it's a very welcome change. Also, I never really liked the USB 3.0 cable. To me it was just too big and cumbersome. I really like the micro USB, so that way it's across all devices. And along with the battery life has not been as good as it was with the Note 3 in my opinion. From what I can tell, I'm not getting the battery life that I once or that I expected to get. I believe Samsung at the event, at the Unpacked event, said that you would get 5% better battery, even though with the Quad HD screen. So I don't know. I'm just not seeing it as much as, it's not as good as I would hoped it was going to be. I actually went out and bought the official Samsung battery and charger to have a spare. So that way, I really like that because then I don't really plug in my phone anymore. I plug in the charger and then just swap my battery. At night I'll swap it, and then in the morning I'll swap it again. So, you know, 2 batteries, you never really have to plug in your phone. So that's sort of nice. So let's talk about this big, beautiful 5.7-inch Super AMOLED display. Resolution comes in at 1440 by 2560, which gives you a 515 pixel density, which is insane for PPI. There's no way you're going to see any type of pixels on this display. The only issue that I have with not the display, but the implementation from applications. YouTube, you can only watch 720 as a maximum resolution on the app. You get high definition from the Google Play Store movies and from Hulu, Netflix, all those things. But I would love to see applications bump up the resolution to this new ultra high definition. So I don't know if that's going to happen sometime in the future, but it will be a welcome change when it actually happens. But this screen is amazing, and it is just simply beautiful. So let's get into some of the software. TouchWiz is TouchWiz. Still some issues. I've caught some lag here and there, but nothing like it used to be. And then the main issue that I had, and I mentioned it in my unboxing, but that issue where I was seeing lag was lag when I was trying to use the gallery. And the reason why that was is I had an SD card, 128 Samsung, that I put in the device when I got it, and that SD card was bad and corrupt. Now let's get to the S Pen. The S Pen, the features, honestly, I rarely use. Usually a week or so with the device, I use it because it's new. And then after that, like with the Note 2 and the Note 3, the S Pen is really just sort of forgotten. It's there, and every once in a while I'll pull it out just as, I don't know, fool around with it. But quite honestly, I never really use it, and it could not be there. I try to use it more, but really the functionality is great, but I just don't find myself using it that often. But if it is something that you like, there is some great features. You can take notes with it, you can draw with it, you have the action memo, which is pretty cool. A lot of things, but to me, you could easily get into Google Maps, type in that address, and then be there quicker than it would be to pull the S Pen, draw the thing out, and then link it into Maps. I'm sure it would come in handy if you need something really quick to jot something down. But yeah, to me, this is just my personal opinion, I just don't use the S Pen that often. So let's discuss the multi-window. You can resize your windows down to it's somewhere around a quarter of the normal size of the screen. And you do that by swiping up in the upper right or left hand corner and then down on an angle, and it'll automatically resize whatever app you're in. The problem with that is it only works with select apps. Hangouts, YouTube, the camera, those things all work, but something like Phoenix that I use for Twitter does not work. Facebook works, so sort of the larger apps work, the other ones do not, which is a little bit of a bummer, because when you go to like sometimes if I'm one-handing holding the Note 4 and you swipe down from one of those corners expecting to get to your notifications so you can get into settings or look at, sometimes it doesn't work because it thinks you're trying to resize the screen, that app. You can also minimize it to a little circle that stays on top of everything that you're doing. The window also stays on top of everything you're doing, which is a little annoying. I don't know how that would be super handy, because you can't really see. You've taken up a quarter of the screen real estate with this minimized app, so you can't really see what's going on in the background. So I think it's just sort of one of those Samsung little trickety-doos that they throw in there. Also, you have the actual multi-window, where you can throw one app at the top and one app at the bottom. Again, these are limited to the same apps that can be minimized. So, but you can transfer a picture into, if you had your gallery open at the top and you could, your messages at the bottom, you could transfer a picture from one window to another. So it's pretty cool, and I find that functionality, if you're doing things like that, does seem a lot smoother and easier with the S Pen. So there you go. There's a use for your S Pen. A side note, I don't use my phone that often for phone calls, but the call quality has been fine with it. I've had no issues. People on the other end have never said that it was muffled or anything. They say it sounds fine. Speakerphone seems to work really well. And then on my end, sometimes I hear a little bit of a ting, but I don't know if that's just the connection with the other person or the actual device. 99% of the time, it's perfectly fine for calls. So on the back of the phone, you have the 16 megapixel camera. It has the flash. You get good pics. I wouldn't say great. This is a good camera, don't get me wrong, but it's over sharpened. The colors are oversaturated, and it's just not quite as good as I would expect a 16 megapixel camera to be. I believe it's all in the processing. I believe the sensor is great. Optical image stabilization is fantastic. It's great when you're taking video. So even though the camera has some flaws, overall it's a good camera. I would say it's probably, in my experience, second only to the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. And the front-facing camera, the selfie camera, is a 3.7 megapixel. It's a wide angle, so it's really nice for you selfie people because you can fit more people in it. But I don't take many selfies, but maybe when I got the kids on my lap or something like that, I'll take a quick selfie. Or if I'm doing a video and I need some selfie footage.
Ooh, so sharp. Just so sharp. Wow. This really is the best camera ever.
That's going to be about it, guys. This has been my 2 weeks with the Note 4. Let me know your thoughts on the Note 4. Do you have the Note 4? Is it something you're looking to get? Is there something I didn't answer in this video? If there is any questions you have, leave it down in the comment section below. Also, give me the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do that down below also. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.